All right, now we have our map. And this is a fictitious topographic map I've drawn just for the sake of this video. It does possess a north arrow and a scale down here. And I don't care what sort of map you get, if you're gonna get USGS topo map or a map of a boardwalk around a national park. The most important things you wanna look for on a map is a north arrow, which will tell you how to orient the map, and a scale. And I didn't really make this to scale or anything, it's just all made up in my head. I have topo lines. And like I said, now to start, you're gonna need to know where you are on a map for a map to be useful and to find a bearing. And for the sake of this purpose, I'm gonna say we're right down here. I'm gonna make a little mark. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna be doing it in permanent mark. But if you have a map, you can do it in pencil, you can draw on it, write on anything you want, you can erase it, and the map's good to go. So you can use multiple different directions, bearings, notes, anything you want. And now, for saying, but I have no idea what's up here. We're just in the forest, we're going for a hike, and this is where I know I am, say there's a trailhead, parking spot, whatever. Now, as I'm looking at this map, I'm not gonna go into great detail about how to read a topo map, which I can do a video on if it's desired, but I can see this peak right here, just the way these topo lines are arranged. I know this is a peak elevation here. There's one over here. I'm probably gonna, they're gonna be probably beautiful views if there's no forest cover, but for the sake of this video, we're gonna assume this is all forested. And we want to use our compass to get a line of travel. And on this side of the water here, I see there's some drainages, really flat over here, maybe a few rolling hills. Nothing major, but I have this river running here, and I have this other leg of it coming down here. Okay, that out of the way. I'm standing here. I want to figure out where I want to go. As I'm looking at the map, I see this island up here on the river. And I can tell the river widens, and these really spaced out topo lines here is probably going to mean a floodplain, which is going to be a really resource-rich area. Riparian species of flora, you're gonna have animals coming here to probably feed, eat, breed, all that stuff. So it's probably gonna be a really cool setting. And this is where I wanna go. So I'm gonna just put a dot for the sake of right here on the side of this hill right here. Because once I get up here, I can probably get a good view of the river. And I'm gonna have to traverse this mountaintop or hill, but it's forested. Maybe I'm not gonna get a view up here to see where I'm really going, but that's why we're gonna have our compass and line of travel to help us get through the forest accurately. And once I have my starting point, my ending point, I'm going to take my compass, and I do have a pencil line drawn here, but it's probably hard to see in the video. But basically, you're going to take line A, or point A and point B with your compass, get as parallel as you can, as tight to it. And once you got that there, you're going to put a little bit of pressure on the compass and the map to make sure your compass doesn't move. Now, the next part. The north arrow on the compass of the dial, which is here. I'm going to rotate this until this north line of the compass is going to run parallel to my north arrow on the map. If you can imagine an imaginary line coming up, running north and south out of my compass and the north arrow, one of these two lines parallel. I'm going to move this until I think, see, that's right where I want it.
Declination is the angle difference between true north and magnetic north. The needle in your compass will only point to magnetic north, so right now it's pointing to somewhere in northern Canada, not Santa's workshop. The declination will be a certain number of degrees to either the west or the east. You can find the direction and number of degrees in the declination diagram near the legend, along with the date of the map's most recent revision.
And there are smaller lines inside the compass to help you do that. And if this is a real topographic map, you're going to have section lines, township and range, all these other lines to help you get really accurate. They're going to be closer to the compass, but for the sake of the video, I kept the map simplified. And once I think I have my compass accurately on my line of travel, I think I have my north parallel to the north on the map, I'm going to have my degree. And then where the degree is going to show up is the index, which I've explained earlier what that is. And looking about here, it's about 30 degrees. And that makes sense. That makes sense because if we're looking at the map, here's my starting point. And I know north, 0 degrees, 360. I know east is 90. And 45 degrees northeast, and I can eyeball that. So I know my line of travel, just before I even touch my compass, is going to be north of northeast. And it's something it's going to come with practice, but it's a good skill to be able to have. Okay. Now that I have my compass and my bearing, let's get the compass and show you how to use this in the woods. Okay, now that I have my degree or bearing or line of travel at the index where I need it, my dial turned to the index. I'm going to rotate the compass to get a rough direction of where that means when the magnetic needle, the red part, lines up underneath with the outline of the needle. You can see how I rotate it until roughly that's about where the direction going this way is where I'm going to be going. So once I have that, I'm going to put it in front of my body and sort of square myself up with the direction I'm going to be going. Just have a general direction, sort of look at the terrain before I even start moving, kind of figure out where I'm going, any obstacles in my immediate path. Now, to get really accurate readings with a compass to walk through the forest, we're going to shoot a line of travel or bearing. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to keep the compass right in front of me right here and try to keep this needle lined up in the outline of the needle and try to walk through the forest with each turn, each step I take, try to readjust. It's very inaccurate, and you're going to be staring at the compass the whole entire time, which is not going to afford you to let you observe anything around you. So what you do is, this is where the sighting mirror comes in handy, as it's on this compass. I'm going to use it. I'm going to bend it at about 45-degree angle, maybe more depending on your height and your liking. I'm going to hold the compass out in front of me at arm's length, at eyesight, and it's going to have to be at the height of your eyes. That's why you need the mirror to reflect the dial. And once I accurately get the needle where I think it's right in, I'm going to use this sight right here where my finger's pointing, almost as you would a firearm sight when you're looking down the barrel of a firearm. And instead of aiming this at an object that I want to hit with a firearm, basically anything that's in my aim is going to be considered a target. And now I want to find the target that's farthest away from me, that's directly in my line of travel, being on my 30 degrees. And once I have that, I can put the compass away. I picked out a tree that's really far off in the distance, as far as I can see, but it's a very accurate way of traveling.
The red needle is facing away from me, so I'm facing north, south is behind me, west is 90 degrees to my left, and east is 90 degrees to my right. On Ordnance Survey maps, they're made so that the top faces north. So on this map I've got north, south, west and east. And I've got some grid lines that run from north to south and from west to east. What I need to do is twist the map round so it represents what's around me in real life. So the top of the map faces north. And the way I do that is I simply put the compass on the map, and then I twist the whole thing around until the red needle points to the top of the map, and that's called setting the map. Alright, I'm now going to show you how to take and follow a compass bearing. So I'm at this point here, and I want to go to this point here where the footpath comes down and crosses the road. What I need to do is I put my compass with the edge of the compass between the 2 points, as if I'm going to use it as a ruler to draw a line. It's really important that I have this direction of travel arrow facing towards the place I want to go to. So that would be the wrong way around, that's the right way around. Once I've got those lined up, I turn the whole dial around until the N on the dial points to the top of the map, and these parallel lines inside the dial are in line with the north-south grid lines. Once I've done that, I can read the bearing on the compass dial, and I can see there that that says 80 degrees. So what I need to do is run following the bearing of 80 degrees. And to do that, I twist my whole body round until the red needle points to the N on the dial, and 80 degrees is anywhere in that direction. So that's where I'm going.